Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Habs Daily News with your hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 122. What do you have on the menu, coach, today? Oh, we have a lot to talk about. What about the new captain, Nick Suzuki? What about Joel Edmundson? Possible. Oh, do you believe they could trade Joel Edmundson? Then we have, of course, the NHL news around the league. We talk about the new patch on the jersey of the Montreal Canadiens. And of course, we have more to tell you during this episode number 122. So don't go nowhere. But before we start, you know the drill. Please don't forget to click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Live Show. Leave me a comment about this episode 122. And if you want to sharing this on your social media to give us a chance to grow, that would be really, really appreciated if you can do that. And let's dive in talking about the first subject of the day. Here we go. The first subject of the day, we have a couple of news around the Montreal Canadiens. And the first one, you already know, I'm talking about the new captain of the Montreal Canadiens, Nick Suzuki, become the 31st captain in the history of the Montreal Canadiens. And then you have a couple of reasons I want to mention why I believe this is the right selection from the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, he became the franchise player for the Montreal Canadiens. He signed a contract extension last season. He kicked out this year his 8-year contract at $7.85 million per AAV per season. We know we have an amazing, great year last season with the Montreal Canadiens, and he played over 82 games. Why I believe is a great selection, first of all, is maturity. He's only 23 years old, but he acts and his behavior is exactly like a 28 to 32 years old, to be honest with you. He's been with the same girlfriend for many years. When he came in Montreal Canadiens at 21 years old, he stayed in Montreal in the last 3 years during the off-season. He have a condominium in the L'Île des Sœurs. Really a guy humble. He understood what it takes to become a professional in hockey. And I like the way he is really consistency of ice on ice. He work hard every single day and he want to become better. But the fact he was surrounded by the player like Shea Weber, Jeff Petrie, Carey Price, Corey Perry, he learned about to become a leader inside this locker room. Tell you one thing, he's how calm he is. Whatever the season, Montreal Canadiens have a up and down during the season. He's always been on the same level, consistency every day. He's not excited too much when the team doing well. He's not down when the team don't do well. So for me, it's really what we're looking for as a captain. And his work ethic, the way he lead by example is really unbelievably great to see that. During the golf tournament happening yesterday, the response of everyone, teammates, all they said, they was all happy to have Nick Suzuki, the new captain, but of course, they said the way he's behaved off ice, on ice, his maturity is really where he makes his friends as a captain, and I think that's a great pick by the Montreal Canadiens. I know a lot of fans are a little bit upset. They would prefer Gallagher or Edmundson, or because his age could become a problem and the pressure have to carry on with him. And again, for me, I've said to you guys, he's the team right now is just starting to go in the right direction. We're about at least 2 years before we become a better team. And the time we're going to be where we're at, I don't think so. The captain have to be like an amazing old players or a player where he will go to change everything. He's going to learn, he's going to make mistakes, but he's going to become better and better. And that's what I said earlier at the beginning, is a franchise player for the Montreal Canadiens. And I think he will learn with time like anything else. He's going to develop to become a better leadership inside this locker room. And I think that's the right selection by the Montreal Canadiens to select Nick Suzuki. Now, they have 2 assistant players now. Brendan Gallagher, the player with the most year with the Montreal Canadiens as a forward, and Joel Edmundson. Edmundson start his 3rd-year contract of the 4 with the Montreal Canadiens. They are 2 excellent leaders inside the locker room, more older. They've been in the NHL for many years. That will just complete this kind of group of leaders, and they're going to helping Nick Suzuki to become better. Let's move on now, guys, for the next subject of the day. The next subject of the day, guys, is GOALIE Edmundson. Edmundson, he became the assistant captain for Nick Suzuki now and for the Montreal Canadiens yesterday. Have a really difficult time last year. First, he have some health problem with the back. And then his situation with the dad, unfortunately, passed away. He have a really hard time to come back and put his mind in hockey. He came with the Montreal Canadiens only March 12, played only 24 games last season. The last couple of weeks, the phone rang at the office of Ken Hughes. Many teams asked to use about the situation with GOALIE Edmundson. If it's possible, it would be something interested to trade him. For me, I'll be honest with you, he have 3 goals, 3 assists, and 24 games last year. So we have only 6 points overall. Honestly, this season, like I mentioned, he have a really difficult time. And then he have 2 more years of his contract at $3.5 million. The 29 years old is going to be UFA at the end of this contract, signing a 4 years contract under Marc Bergevin 2 years ago. That gave me possibility at the trade deadline. If he's doing well, the Gen 6'5", 229 pounds, could be on the market for the trade. And as a left defenseman, I would say to you guys, we have a lot in the prospect. And I don't want to go there, but we have about 6, 7, 8 players prospect NHL for the Montreal Canadiens could maybe join the team next year, 2023, 2024. That opened the door possible to trade GOALIE Edmundson if they can get really something solid in return. I don't say they have to, and at $3.5 million for 1 year after that, it's not too much expensive for the team to have him for the final end of the season and the playoff situation for the new team. My question to you guys is, would you like the Montreal Canadiens trade GOALIE Edmundson at the trade deadline? Leave me a comments about Joel. Let's move on now, guys, for the next subject of the day. The next subject of the day, guys, is about the Habs jersey patch. This year, the NHL allow any team in the league to sell a patch on the jersey by 3 inches by 3.5, and the Montreal Canadiens signed a multi-year contract partnership with RBC. This is the new jersey sponsor for the upcoming year, and this is what it looked like. Would be interesting. As fans, I would love to know from you guys if you are for or against about the patch on the jersey for the Montreal Canadiens. Let's move on now, guys, for the next subject of the day. My next subject of the day, guys, is about goalie stick. What the heck are you talking about, coach? I read a couple of articles the last couple of weeks about the new way the goalie prefer to have a new hockey stick, goalie stick. Since 2018, different company like Wire or CCM buyer. Some of them change the wood to the composite, and the goalies love it. Linus Ullmark, the goaltender for the Boston Bruins, when he was with the Buffalo Sabres, started to work with the company CCM and Bayer to make a goalie stick with different details to give them a better way to controlling the puck. And I will tell you one thing, they start to work, it was the stiffer of the blade. It was the first thing Ullmark requests for the company. Then he worked on the different curve, like forward or defenseman. They did the same thing now for the goalies to have a different curve they can use. Then they use the trigger on the parallel. This is the new one. The reason why they protect their little finger when they control the puck, that's a new thing. Then they use the flexion of the stick, like the flexibility of the shooting the puck. Yes, it is very important. Then the short shaft, something new for stick angling that give them a little bit better chance to pass the puck. And finally, why, coach? Why so important? Why Linus Ullmark work on this one over there? He realized, Ullmark, when he talked with other goaltenders, many of them did not pay attention to those details. Now, with the way the hockey is changing, when the goaltender protect the puck better, pass the puck quicker, now the forecheck is eliminated and the defensemen love it. The way when they get the puck right on the blade to have a better transition for the breakout, that gives them a better chance to get their speed, their feet moving faster and better. This gives a better chance for the goaltender to have a better stick that way. Stick angling the puck, pass the puck faster and stronger to the teammate. This one reason now the goalie stick use that kind they champ from the wood and composite, and then many goaltender now love this new transition, and then that's the reason. Pay attention a bit more about the goalie stick. I would just want to share with you what I learned. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this goalie stick new way to play the puck now. And let's move on now for the last subject of the day. The last subject of the day, of course, we finished with the NHL news today. We don't have a lot of news today. We have only one signature. It's a really important one. Evan Rodriguez find a new home after a couple of years with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Last year, have an amazing, great year with the Pittsburgh with 19 goals, 24 assists, 43 points. He struggled on the second half of the season, but he did pretty well during the playoff. Have a 3 goals, 3 assists, 9 game, and now he signed a new contract 1 year with the Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche, the winner of the champion Stanley Cup last season, brings some depth now on the bottom of their 6, signed only a 1 year. That's complete, my friend. The episode number 122. That's it. That's all. Hopefully you enjoy this episode number 122. We talk a lot of different things. Captain for the Montreal Canadiens, Suzuki And Edmundson. Would you like him to get traded at some point at the trade deadline? We talk about the goalie stick, the new way. Then we talk about the new patch on the jersey of Montreal Canadiens. Finally, the NHL news today. Hopefully, guys, I'm going to see you for the next video, the Habs Daily News with the hockey coach, Coach FRENCHY. But before we leave, wait for you. Don't forget, every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, we have a new show called the Habs Brunch. Karen Hans going to return with us next Sunday. Of course, before we leave, invite you. Don't forget to please click on the like, subscribe to the Hockey Nation Show. Leave me a comments about the episode 122. And finally, yes, you have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, blessing day, everybody.